Hello, this is Viren Modi, and this is my IoT project called the Wi-Fi flood detector. I apologize for the video quality, but Screencast-O-Matic was not working. So if you live in Chicago, you're probably familiar with flooding, especially if you have a basement. Chances are you've dealt with flooding, and you'll deal with flooding again. In Chicago, flooded basements means flooded basements everywhere. And it's really tiresome, so we don't want to deal with it. So that's why I came up with this solution. The Wi-Fi flood detector, what it'll do is you place two sensors in the sump pump pit, and whenever water exceeds the sump pump, it will send a notification via push bullet. And after a certain amount of time, if the water hits a second sensor, it'll send a second alert, which will send me the rate that the water level is increasing at, how far it is from overflowing from the sump pump pit, and how much time I have before overflowing happens. This idea was an idea that I did mention originally at the beginning of the semester. The device that I used was the Raspberry Pi, and I bought the Vilros Raspberry Pi Complete Starter Kit for a cost of $65 from Amazon. Accessories that I bought was the Kukier Raspberry Pi IoT Starter Kit that was mentioned in class. IoT accessories that I had to also buy were 5 moisture sensors because they're cheap and they don't last long. Some of the growing pains that I experienced was because I'm not familiar with the hardware circuitry. I spent money trying to buy more products that may meet the needs of my project. And some of the didn't include resistors or a way to convert from analog to digital data. For the hardware, I originally started with an analog sensor, but the Raspberry Pi only takes digital input. So I had to switch and use a moisture sensor that only took, that had a digital output mode. For the software, I had to learn some Python, and I took a slow and steady wins the race and function decomposition style approach. I started by learning simple projects like light up an LED or multiple LEDs, and then I took it one puzzle piece at a time. Simple water sensing, and then send a text notification, and then I combined the two. In terms of design decisions, one other issue I ran into was when sensing from two sensors, I used one function to handle both. However, I resolved that by creating two separate functions to handle the two sensors. If you look here, you'll notice that there were two functions originally, but then I combined them I separated them into two functions. Here are some of the main resources I used with the help of 2 other classmates. Here's some future work and advice. And thank you for watching my video. If all goes well, I will present in class on Wednesday.